Hey ladies, Jill from Younique here and Sarge. We are doing a video today on our foundations and our concealers. So I'm going to put Sarge up on his windowsill so he doesn't cry during our whole video. And hopefully he won't see a squirrel. A squirrel and start barking. Okay, so Sarge is set. So this video might be a little longer, but I want to show you all of our foundations and concealers so that you can see them all at once rather than scrolling through different posts. We have a bunch of different options, but not every option is going to work for everyone. So that is my point of wanting to show you the coverage, show you how they go on my skin. And then when you have questions about which one would be best for you, just comment below or send me a private message and we'll figure out what's going to work best for your skin type and the coverage that you want. So let's start with our cream foundation. It comes in a compact. Remember, all of our products are all naturally based. So this is your typical cream foundation. Now there are a few differences. See right there? So there's a few differences. I don't like cakey foundation. So this doesn't feel cakey at all, but it does feel heavier. Like you can feel that you have it on. So it's not necessarily one of my favorites. A couple ways you can apply this. It does come with a round sponge applicator, which I lost. But you can apply it with a blending bud, you can apply it with a foundation brush, you can apply it with your fingers, whatever works best for you. So I'm just gonna use a blending bud real quick and put some on so you can see how it goes on. Remember, if you're using a blending bud, you wanna wet your brush or your bud first so that your foundation doesn't soak into your bud. So I'm just gonna rub it around here. Now this is going to give you a full coverage. Let's pick a spot. This is gonna give you a full coverage. It does end up setting in a matte finish, so you're not gonna look shiny. But again, for me and for what I like, it does have, you can feel it on your face. So I'm not a super big fan of it. It's buildable, so if I wanted more coverage, I would just keep applying. You can always finish this with the pressed powder to finish the deal. But again, cream foundation, multiple shades. If cream foundation is a thing you're into, I've never been a cream foundation person, but if it's something that you're into and you want full coverage and you don't want to shine or anything, then this might be your best option. Next, I'm going to show you one which is probably a big go-to for me because it's super quick and easy, and you can tell by my compact that it's almost gone. It's our pressed powder. So it comes the same style as our cream. Little mirror, it does have a sponge with it. I use our puff brush. Make sure there's nothing else on there. For me, this is probably one of the best powders I've ever used. I know people typically don't feel like they get a good coverage from a pressed powder. I feel like I do get a good coverage, and it's so light that I don't even know I have it on my skin. So I'm just rubbing my brush around to get some on, and let's just go right here. Remember, a huge key to your foundations is always starting with a primer. So I already have our glorious face and eye primer on. But see how light it is? You can't really see, you know, that it's there. It doesn't look obvious. It's so light. And this is good whether you have dry or whether you have oily skin. And again, this also dries in a matte finish, or sets in a matte finish. Next would be the BB Flawless. So our BB Flawless is between a tinted moisturizer and a full foundation. It's kind of right in between. It's a complexion enhancer. It's a nice cream finish, or a nice cream, and then it ends up drying or setting in a dewy finish. I'm not a fan of dewy finish, so I always follow with my pressed powder. I have grown more and more fond of this, and it's super easy to apply. You can just use your fingers and almost just rub it on. Now this is giving you a light to medium coverage. You're not gonna get a full coverage out of this, which is oftentimes why I will go over with my pressed powder to eliminate that dewy finish and to give myself more coverage. I will tell you that this winter, this has been my go-to foundation. My skin always feels a little drier in the winter, and the combination of my moisturizer, my Divine Moisturizer, my Glorious Primer that I put on before foundation, This and my pressed powder gives me the look I want, and it makes my skin feel soft and moisturized. This just gives it a little bit of moisture during these cold winter months when my skin dries out. So this has been my go-to during the winter. Now, our famous foundation that came out this year that is selling like crazy to where we can't even keep stock of it. It goes on back order and out of stock all the time. They brought it back last week for back orders, and within 12 hours they had to move all of them to out of stock. We sold 13,000 of this one color, organza, in 12 hours. People are going crazy over it, and it's phenomenal coverage, easy application. My reason for switching during the winter is not because this dries out my skin, but it dries in a matte, and my skin just didn't feel hydrated. So during the winter, I switched to BB cream. Otherwise, spring, summer, when it starts getting warm again, I will go back to my liquid foundation. But let me show you how this works. You shake it up. It's got a dropper. And the easiest way to do this, you can put it on your finger and blot it on your face, or you can put it on the back of your hand. I'm just gonna put a little. You need like, oh shoot, Sarge sees a cat outside. You need about 4 to 5 drops for your whole face. So I'm just gonna put 2 because I'm just showing you an example. And then I take my puff brush, get it on there. And the cool thing about this, where are we gonna go? Forehead, is you just buff it on. So for you moms out there, this is a super, super quick, easy, medium to full coverage, does not feel heavy at all. And our BB cream, I forgot to mention, it doesn't feel heavy either. It's a really nice coverage. So super easy application. Look, it just buffs right on. And literally when I do my whole face, it takes like 1 minute to buff it all on. Although a lot of the colors are on back order and out of stock, you can still order them now. We'd figure out a way where I would just take your payment, and then the minute it comes in stock, because they sell out again so quickly and I watch it like a hawk all day, the minute it comes in stock, then I would place your order for you and get it right to you. So that's an option. Those are our foundations. We have 2 concealers. This one we came out with, this was our first concealer. It's mineral powdered. So if you are used to using bare minerals, then you will love this mineral powder concealer. If you've never used a powder concealer, people kind of love it or hate it. There's really not an in-between. I'm just tapping some in my lid. Like I said, it's just a powder. People either love it or hate it if they're not used to the mineral foundations, which is why we came out with a cream one. I will, though, sometimes, especially now that I'm getting low on my powder, once I put my BB cream on, I'll use this powder all over my face. Because it gives me coverage and the color is really close to my pressed powder. So you have options with this to use it as kind of a all-over powder or just a concealer. The concealer that is phenomenal is our Skin Perfecting Concealer. This little tube will last you forever because you only need a little bit. Now I use 2 different shades. I use Velour, which is the same color as my powder for when I need to cover up certain areas. And then I use 2 shades lighter. This is Scarlet for when I want to highlight or cover up circles under my eyes. So I'm just gonna do under my eyes. This little bit is gonna do both eyes. It will last forever. So I'm just gonna dab it on. Make sure we get some for both eyes. And then I'm just gonna pull it down. And it's really going to brighten up the underside of my eyes. It does not feel heavy. It blends so, so well. The other thing which you may, sorry my lighting, which you may have seen my video on is that I've started doing when I really need coverage. We discovered that you could mix these 2 together before applying, and then it turns in, this BB cream will turn into a full coverage foundation, which for me, when I tried it, made it a lot easier because I was already taking time to cover up certain areas, and now I can just mix them together and do one coat, and it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel greasy. I do go over with my powder just because I love the powder finish. But that's it for our foundations and concealers. There is choices, but it's really easy if I know your skin type or what kind of coverage you're looking for. It's really easy to figure out which one you might enjoy the best. So we have our cream compact, we have our pressed powder, we have the BB Flawless, and then we have the Liquid Touch. And then in concealers, you have your mineral concealer or you have your skin perfecting cream concealer. So that's it. Let me know if you have questions, and let me know if you need help picking out colors, because I know it can be tricky online, but we have lots of tools to help figure that out. And I will see you later. Bye, ladies.